Alright, what's going on, guys? I've got the Wolfgang Deep Gloss Paint Sealant 3.0 out for some testing. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a basic overview of the product here and also put it through the water test. And I'm really a big fan of the Wolfgang lineup. They are a brand just like Pinnacle Natural Brilliance underneath the Auto Geek umbrella, which is owned by Palm Beach Motoring Group. And this is the staple of the entire Wolfgang product line. So this is the one that has those polymers in there that are going to be what the other products are based around. And I really enjoy working with the Wolfgang Deep Gloss Paint Sealant. I mean, this is an incredible product to work with. Super easy on-off application. It's also fully synthetic as well. And one of the criticisms of the earlier paint sealants was they left a synthetic looking gloss or shine. And so the idea behind this product was to create a synthetic formula that was going to bridge that gap between the great finish that the carnauba-based waxes were leaving behind on the paint, combined with the extra long durability that the paint sealants were leaving behind. And so what I want to do for the water test is pair this up against the RejeX Paint Sealant that I've showcased in one of my earlier videos. I'll have a link to the description for you guys that haven't seen that video yet. And so I have the Deep Gloss Paint Sealant on the right side of the hood and fender facing the car here. And on the left side I have the RejeX Paint Sealant. They've been applied 24 hours ago. And I've also prepped the paint using Meguiar's M205 finishing polish, followed up with an isopropyl alcohol wipe down. And although they don't mention it on the bottle of the Deep Gloss Paint Sealant here, they do recommend a 12-hour minimum cure period before applying water to the paint or before exposing it to a lot of moisture. And the reason why I'm comparing this against the RejeX Paint Sealant is RejeX goes for $20 for 16 ounces. The Wolfgang Deep Gloss Paint Sealant goes for $40 for 16 ounces, and that's when it's not on sale. A lot of times you can find it on sale. But right away in the water test, you can see that the Deep Gloss Paint Sealant side is not going to be quite as hydrophobic as the RejeX side. But it is going to be easier to apply and remove. I mean, this spreads around like butter on the paint, and then it removes just as easily. And it does not leave behind any residual oils as well. And when you're polishing paint at the professional level, doing multiple stages of compounding and polishing, having something that removes as easily as this does from the paint and as cleanly is something very high up on my priority list. And so for all those hours that you spend polishing the paint and jeweling it, the last thing you want to do is be spending time trying to chase these residual oils across the whole paint with the final wipe down. And so Wolfgang Deep Gloss Paint Sealant is really one of the best products you can use to seal the paintwork in after you've polished it. And once the paintwork is sealed, you can start maintaining the gloss and the shine and the protection throughout the months using different products, whether you like to use carnauba waxes or spray waxes or spray sealants. But again, the best time is to apply this when there's no other wax or sealant on the paint surface. That's going to help create the maximum bonding to the clear coat. But right now what I want to do is grab the soap out. I've got the Hyper Wash from Meguiar's. We're going to soap the car down and see just how well the water behavior holds up. Alright, so one of the big questions is, even though the water behavior of Deep Gloss Paint Sealant is not as strong as other products, are we going to be able to see visually through the water beading just how durable it is over the months? And in my experience, it absolutely holds up over the months, and that's one of the reasons why I like working with this so much. And that's because you can see the sheeting rate here, how quickly the water falls off the paint after flooding it. It maintains this throughout the months. And so what I'm going to do is come out with a durability test video that showcases this at 2.5 months, and then I might do one at 4 months. Well, Wolfgang advertises 6 months of durability out of Deep Gloss Paint Sealant here, and I can certainly see that happen on this test car. But the big kicker is the RejeX Paint Sealant on this side has been just as durable as the Deep Gloss Paint Sealant. And since you can see it's more hydrophobic at the beginning, it's also more hydrophobic throughout the durability test as well. And so you're going to see a faster sheeting rate out of it. And I had never heard of RejeX Paint Sealant before DLC95 from the forum sent me his bottle to test out. But it is quite competitive against these other paint sealants that are more expensive. And the Deep Gloss Paint Sealant is going to be easier to spread across the paint panel. It's going to take less product to cover a larger area. And there's going to be differing opinions about which one provides a better gloss. But on this paint, once I get done polishing it with Meguiar's M205, I'm certainly not disappointed with how either of these products make the car look. It looks super glossy, and it maintains that gloss over the months as well. And that's one of the things I noticed from the durability test after washing the paint. Without applying any detailer sprays or spray waxes or spray sealants, the gloss has really held up well. So you can see the lineup I'm working with here of the other paint sealants that I have. I've got the Jescar or the Menzerna Power Lock Plus. the Blackfire Wet Diamond Sealant, Ultimate Liquid Wax, HD Epoxy. And so I'd place these in a similar category to each other. Very easy on-off application. You're not going to see super aggressive water behaviors. It's nothing at the level of Polymer Net Shield from Sonax, but these are much easier to apply and remove compared to the Polymer Net Shield. And the slickness as well is way high up there, especially with the Deep Gloss Paint Sealant and the Blackfire Wet Diamond. These leave behind such an addictive, super slick feeling paint surface. And so what I'll probably end up doing is pair the Jescar Power Lock Plus out with the Blackfire Wet Diamond. And the Power Lock and the Wolfgang and Blackfire sealants were very comparable over the years, and I'm interested to see if they've made drastic changes to Power Lock to see if it's going to stand out against the other two now. But one of the things that I want to mention about the Wolfgang Deep Gloss Paint Sealant 3.0 is they do recommend between a 30 and 45 minute dry time. This is after applying it to the paint before removing it. It's also safe to apply to the trim. It's not going to do any discoloring or staining. And make sure you guys shake it up really well before using it. So as always, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you stay tuned for more testing in the future.